The Connecticut E1 Electrician test is a crucial step in advancing an electrical career. Here's a detailed overview to help prepare. Firstly, the test format consists of 80 multiple-choice questions. Secondly, there is a time limit of 2 hours and 30 minutes to complete the examination. Thirdly, the test evaluates proficiency in several key content areas, which include general code knowledge, electrical theory and calculations, conductors and cables, wiring methods, motors and transformers, lighting and lighting controls, as well as fire alarms and emergency systems. To prepare effectively, focus on these specific areas. Mastering the National Electrical Code, or NEC, is essential, as it serves as the primary reference for the test. It's important to dedicate time to understanding the NEC articles, tables, and requirements related to electrical installations. Reviewing electrical theory and calculations is equally important. Be sure to understand Ohm's law, power calculations, series and parallel circuits, and circuit analysis techniques. These concepts form the foundation for many questions on the exam. Familiarize yourself with various wiring methods commonly used in residential and commercial applications. This includes understanding different types of cables, conduits, and wiring techniques. Practicing with sample questions is a valuable way to assess knowledge and pinpoint areas that need improvement. Seek out practice exams and work through them diligently to get familiar with the question formats and difficulty levels. Consider joining a study group to connect with other candidates. Sharing study materials and discussing concepts can provide different perspectives and enhance your understanding of the subject matter. On test day, it is important to arrive on time to allow ample time to check in and prepare without feeling rushed. Remember to bring all necessary documents, including a photo identification and the test admission letter. Staying calm is crucial, as stress can negatively impact performance. Try relaxation techniques and focus on the task at hand. Effectively managing time is also important. Allocate a reasonable amount of time for each question and avoid dwelling too long on questions that seem difficult. If encountering a challenging question, move on and return to it later if time allows. Read each question carefully to ensure a clear understanding before selecting an answer. Pay attention to keywords and phrases that may provide clues to the correct answer. If unsure of an answer, eliminate any obviously incorrect choices and make an educated guess from the remaining options. There is no penalty for guessing, so it is always better to attempt an answer rather than leaving it blank. Before submitting the test, take time to review all answers to ensure accuracy and completeness. Double-check that all questions have been answered and that the selected answers are indeed the intended choices. Keep in mind that the CTE test is administered by Parametric, not SI. The passing score is 75%, and the test results are typically available within 7 to 10 business days. For further information about the test, including registration details and testing locations, visit the Parametric website. Additional insights to consider. 1. Mastering the NEC involves more than just reading it. Focus on understanding the intent behind the code requirements and how they apply to real-world situations. 2. Pay close attention to the definitions provided in Article 100 of the NEC, as they are fundamental to interpreting the code correctly. 3. Familiarize yourself with the various chapters of the NEC, including those covering wiring and protection, wiring methods and materials, equipment for general use, special occupancies, special equipment, and special conditions. 4. When reviewing electrical theory, focus on understanding the relationships between voltage, current, resistance, and power. Practice applying Ohm's law and power formulas to solve circuit problems. 5. Understanding series and parallel circuits is essential for analyzing more complex circuits. Practice calculating total resistance, current, and voltage drops in both types of circuits. 6. Familiarize yourself with different types of conductors, including their ampacity, insulation types, and applications. Understand how to select the appropriate conductor size based on the load requirements and installation conditions. 7. Study the requirements for grounding and bonding, as these are critical for ensuring electrical safety. Understand the purpose of grounding electrodes, equipment grounding conductors, and bonding jumpers. 8. Learn about overcurrent protection devices such as circuit breakers and fuses, and how they protect electrical circuits from overloads and short circuits. Understand the different types of circuit breakers and fuses and their operating characteristics. 9. Familiarize yourself with the different types of wiring methods used in residential, commercial, and industrial applications. This includes understanding the requirements for conduit installations, cable tray systems, and open wiring. 10. Understand the requirements for installing electrical equipment in hazardous locations. This includes understanding the different classes and divisions of hazardous locations and the types of equipment approved for use in each. 11. Learn about the requirements for installing fire alarm systems, including the types of devices, wiring methods, and system testing procedures. 12. Understand the requirements for emergency systems, including backup power sources, emergency lighting, and exit signs. 13. When taking practice tests, simulate the actual test conditions as closely as possible. This includes timing yourself, using only the allowed resources, and avoiding distractions. 14. Analyze your performance on practice tests to identify areas where you need to focus your study efforts. Review the questions you missed and try to understand why you made the mistake. 15. Create a study schedule that allocates sufficient time for each topic covered on the exam. Be realistic about the amount of time you can devote to studying each day or week. 16. Break down the study material into smaller, more manageable chunks. This will make the material less overwhelming and easier to retain. 17. Use a variety of study methods such as reading, note-taking, flashcards, and practice problems. This will help you to engage with the material in different ways and improve your understanding. 18. Take breaks during study sessions to avoid burnout. Get up and move around, do something relaxing, or listen to music. 19. Get plenty of sleep the night before the exam. Being well rested will help you to focus and perform at your best. 20. Eat a healthy meal before the exam. Avoid sugary foods and drinks that can cause you to crash later. 21. Wear comfortable clothing to the exam. This will help you to relax and focus on the task at hand. 22. Bring a positive attitude to the exam. Believe in yourself and your ability to succeed. 23. Read the instructions carefully before starting the exam. Make sure you understand the rules and procedures. 24. Pace yourself throughout the exam. Don't spend too much time on any one question. 25. If you get stuck on a question, move on and come back to it later. 26. Eliminate any obviously incorrect answers before guessing. 27. Check your answers carefully before submitting the exam. 28. Don't be afraid to ask the proctor for clarification if you have any questions. 29. Stay calm and focused throughout the exam. Don't let anxiety get the best of you. 30. Remember that you have prepared for this exam and that you are capable of passing it. Additional information. 31. The Connecticut E1 license allows individuals to perform electrical work without supervision, making it a significant career advancement. 32. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so be sure to study the most current edition. 33. Understanding the NEC commentary can provide valuable insights into the intent behind the code requirements. 34. Many online resources are available to help you prepare for the E1 exam, including practice tests, study guides, and forums. 35. Consider taking a review course specifically designed for the Connecticut E1 exam. 36. Network with other electricians in Connecticut to learn about their experiences and get advice. 37. Stay up to date on changes to the electrical code and industry best practices. 38. Consider joining a professional organization such as the International Association of Electrical Inspectors to stay informed and connected. 39. Continuously seek opportunities to expand your knowledge and skills as an electrician. 40. Remember that passing the E1 exam is a significant achievement that can open doors to new opportunities in your career. 41. When studying the NEC, focus on understanding the structure of the code, including the articles, sections, and tables. 42. Pay attention to the requirements for labeling and marking electrical equipment. 43. Understand the requirements for installing electrical equipment in damp and wet locations. 44. Familiarize yourself with the different types of raceways and their applications. 45. Understand the requirements for installing grounding electrodes, such as ground rods, ground plates, and concrete encased electrodes. 46. Learn about the different types of surge protective devices and their applications. 47. Understand the requirements for installing generators and other alternate power sources. 48. Familiarize yourself with the requirements for installing solar photovoltaic systems. 49. Understand the requirements for installing electric vehicle charging stations. 50. Pay attention to the details in the NEC tables such as ampacity tables, conduit fill tables, and box fill tables. 51. When solving calculation problems, be sure to use the correct units and formulas. 52. Double-check your calculations to avoid errors. 53. Practice solving a variety of different types of calculation problems. 54. When studying wiring methods, pay attention to the requirements for supporting and securing cables and conduits. 55. Understand the requirements for protecting cables and conduits from physical damage. 56. Familiarize yourself with the different types of connectors and fittings used in electrical installations. 57. When studying motors and transformers, understand the principles of operation and the different types of equipment. 58. Pay attention to the requirements for motor overload protection and short-circuit protection. 59. Understand the requirements for transformer overcurrent protection and grounding. 60. When studying lighting and lighting controls, understand the different types of lamps and their characteristics. 61. Pay attention to the requirements for energy-efficient lighting and lighting controls. 62. Understand the requirements for emergency lighting and exit signs. 63. When studying fire alarm systems, understand the different types of devices and their functions. 64. Pay attention to the requirements for fire alarm system wiring and installation. 65. Understand the requirements for fire alarm system testing and maintenance. 66. When studying emergency systems, understand the different types of backup power sources and their applications. 67. Pay attention to the requirements for emergency system wiring and installation. 68. Understand the requirements for emergency system testing and maintenance. 69. Remember to stay calm and focused on test day. 70. Take your time and read each question carefully. 71. Eliminate any obviously incorrect answers before guessing. 72. Check your answers carefully before submitting the exam. 73. Believe in yourself and your ability to succeed. 74. The exam will cover topics based on the NEC, so understanding the code is vital. 75. Questions on the exam may require calculations, so be prepared to perform them accurately. 76. Be familiar with the different types of wiring methods and their applications. 77. The test may include questions about motors and transformers, so review these topics. 78. Questions may also cover lighting and lighting controls, so be prepared for those topics as well. 79. The exam may also include questions on fire alarms and emergency systems, so be familiar with those areas. 80. Understanding general code knowledge is a must for success on the exam. 81. Familiarity with conductors and cables is a crucial component of the exam. 82. Electrical theory will be tested, so ensure a solid grasp on the concepts. 83. Careful review of the test is recommended to verify accuracy. 84. Be ready to manage your time effectively to complete all questions. 85. Attempt to answer every question even if it requires an educated guess. 86. Bring all the required documents including a photo identification. 87. Ample time should be allowed to arrive and prepare on the day of the test. 88. Maintain a calm and focused approach during the examination. 89. Remember to study and use the current edition of the NEC. 90. Practice questions can help improve knowledge and ability to answer quickly. 91. Remember that the test is provided by Prometric, not PSI. 92. Ensure all topics that are included in the test are reviewed thoroughly. 93. A passing score is required to get the certification. 94. After taking the test, results should come in a timely manner. 95. Review your answers before submitting the test. 96. Electrical calculations are vital when studying and taking the test. 97. A study group may be helpful in studying for the test. 98. Understanding theory and being able to apply it will also help a lot. 99. The NEC should be heavily studied as it is the guide for the electrical work. 100. Being an electrician takes skill and understanding. 101. Good luck when taking the examination. 102. Be sure to get a good night's rest before testing. 103. Arrive early so you are not late when testing. 104. Make sure you bring the documents needed for testing. 105. Do your best when taking the examination. 106. Do not stress when taking the examination. 107. You have all the tools and skill you need for the examination. 108. You have many years of experience in this field. 109. Believe you can and you will pass the examination. 110. Be confident in yourself when taking the examination.